podcast. Welcome to the Best Things podcast.
Yes.
I'm Craig. That's Aaron. Are you in the spooky season mode yet?
Yeah. I had to watch. I was trying to find something different.
Yeah.
For Halloween to watch. We were perusing the offerings of Disney Plus the other night.
Really?
And we watched two different things. One, The Ghost of Buxley Hall. Ever seen it?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay, well, it's a little older, probably the 60s or 70s, I think. And then The Ghost of Boogedy. Boogedy. You seen that one?
No.
How about The Bride of Boogedy?
No, I've never heard of Boogedy. Other than, what, Ray Stevens? They call him the streak. Boogedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cheesy, I don't know, probably made for TV in the 80s.
Really?
It was pretty cheesy, though.
Was it on Disney, I guess, in the 80s? Or?
Yeah, I think that one was. And I think Ghost of Buxley Hall was.
Or it could have been on ABC, I guess.
Yeah, it may have been.
Wow. Okay. Never heard of either of those. We did watch, with our wives, we need to preface, we watched Hocus Pocus 2 together.
Thank you. Adding that.
But, yeah, it's spooky season, man. It is, in fact, the release date for this episode is Halloween day itself. And so some of you are listening to this day of recording or day of release. And so, you know, there's lots of podcasts I listen to, and a lot of them come out on Mondays. And anytime there's been one that's fallen on Halloween, they'll do a Halloween podcast. I don't know if anybody else listening or watching this, but anytime there's a Halloween episode or a Christmas episode or a specific to a holiday, I always find myself there's like that memory tie of like listening to it while you're setting something up.
Yes.
So you may be listening to this while you're getting your costume ready, or you're doing a trick-or-treaters at your house or something like that. So thanks for making us part of your holiday.
See, I dressed up as a disappointed Arkansas fan.
We should have come in total costumes. That would have been awesome for those watching. That would have been incentivized people to watch online. Hopefully, we're recording this before Halloween. Hopefully we're not disappointed this weekend as Arkansas fans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of curses, we've been cursed against Auburn University.
It's been a decade.
Oh my gosh.
Of losing at Auburn.
And we should not be losing to them.
No.
They're terrible, especially the last few years. They've not been good.
There was something I wanted to ask here at the beginning of this episode that, because there's no other place to really ask this, I don't think, that will feel natural during the episode. I wanted to ask you about some numbers for a minute.
Okay.
Not like the biblical book.
Or
nor the
TV show that lasted, 5 seasons?
Right.
Okay.
It was a great show.
It was a good show.
Also, not the app from Apple either, but like actual numbers. Okay. Do you have an issue with certain numbers? Like if you were setting the volume on the TV.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. And
okay.
What's annoying to me is that this TV right here in the studio, it does something weird with the volume. 1 through 10 sounds fine, and then 11 makes the jump. And so I can't keep it at 10, but 12 is a little too loud. So I have to be at 11, and that bugs the mess out of me. Yeah, all the time.
The context for this question is I got in someone's vehicle yesterday, a listener of the podcast, so we'll see if they catch this.
If they continue to listen.
I got in their vehicle yesterday, and they had like the dual climate setting.
Uh-huh.
And my side, I think, was like at 90 or something. And so it was warmed up by the afternoon. And he was like, adjust it wherever you want it. So I just turned it down to 73. We drive for a second. He's like, I got to change that. It can be on 72 or 74, but it can't be on 73.
No odd numbers?
No odd numbers.
Wow.
And I was just like, it's your vehicle. Do whatever you want. That's fine. But it just got me to thinking. So for me, I like the, like 20, 25, 30, To me, those make sense. But he was like, no, 25, you can't do a 25 if you're on volume.
Really?
To me, though, it's just you set it wherever you need it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that OCD about it, but like I do prefer, even numbers are multiplied by 5. I think that's a preference, but I'm not. If you want to change the volume knob to whatever, I'm not gonna. I don't care that much.
Do you do that to your thermostat though? Will you?
No.
So you put it wherever it's.
Yeah, wherever it's comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just struck me as funny, and I got to wondering how many other people are that way.
It's something I've seen on TikTok. I mean,
Is it really?
Yeah. So if you're watching, we're gonna put this on TikTok. If you are watching this and that bothers you, let us know in the comments because we'd be curious to see. But yeah, I know some people it probably affects them a lot more. I mean, for me, it's almost like ASMR is in a weird way. Like it's satisfying when it works on an odd or an even or a multiple of 5, but it's not like OCD where I have to have it.
And see, I'm accused by a lot of people of being about OCD about a lot of things.
Yeah,
and
because you are a little bit.
I'll own that. But setting the volume, adjusting a thermostat, I put it wherever I think it's best.
Yeah,
most comfortable.
That makes sense.
And I don't worry about it. But he was just like, oh no, this is it was going to ruin his day, I think.
Well, let us know. Feedback at Best Things Pod. Hit us on the socials if you're that kind of person. Be very curious to know. Obviously, today we're talking about Halloween stuff. And we're kind of taking a shotgun approach to Halloween with this episode. Some great pantomime by Aaron over here. So, yeah, we're going to kind of be talking about all different kinds of stuff when it comes to Halloween. And I think we're going to land on something for the bracket, but we've kind of got a lot of different ways that we can go. You ready to just hop right into it?
Let's hop.
Hippity hop.
Like a rabbit.
Oh, that was the wrong one. Sorry. We already did that bit. We don't have to do it again.
Before we figure out which one's the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for the thing about the things.
You can tell how much of a creature of habit I am that I just automatically go to the same things over and over again. Okay, Aaron, you found this article. You want to tee it up for us and let us know a little bit what's on here?
So this comes from U.S. News World and Report. So this is super official.
This is like,
I mean, this isn't like Ranker. This isn't Billy Bob's, blog that we stumbled across.
Billy Bob's blog. I think we found a new T-shirt idea.
This is, I guess it's legitimate.
Yeah.
It looks legitimate,
it does.
Okay?
A few more pop-up ads than I'd prefer.
There were some of those. This is from October 27th, 2022 at 9:37 a.m.
Oh, man, this is like fresh and hot off the presses.
I mean, yeah, it can't get any fresher than this.
It could. We're recording this the day after it released.
Yes, I mean, for us recording this, it can't be any fresher than this, though. And it's by Chris Gilligan. Gilligan. Chris Gilligan.
Underrated show, by the way.
I have been looking, trying to find Gilligan's Island anywhere. It's not available to stream anywhere.
Travesty.
It is.
Amazon. We know you watch. Put Gilligan's Island on Amazon.
So this guy, he's put together a lot of statistics and data and numbers and lists, which we love on this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, this is right down our alley.
Right down it.
And it's on theme.
Yeah.
Like if we were talking about 4th of July, we wouldn't even be reading this article today.
That's true. You're right.
So
we wouldn't. I'm wondering how did your mind get there?
Who knows how my mind works?
So this is a very comprehensive list of all different kinds of stuff, and we'll kind of alternate back and forth between each section and kind of tee it up. The first one is an interesting list for me, and when I first read this, I thought, well, duh. I think we both had that thought, well, duh. But
yeah,
you dig into it a little bit more, and there's some interesting stuff we can pull out.
Very interesting.
So the first category on this list is the states with the most potential trick-or-treaters.
This is what I like to call the SMPTOT. If you'd like to put an acronym on it.
There was no need.
Okay.
We did it anyway.
And this comes from the U.S. Census Bureau.
Even more official than U.S.
It's a
News and
government
World Report.
agency now.
We just this is the most official podcast episode we've ever done.
I feel like we need like world news music playing behind us, and one of those map things.
Yeah, we need to be pointing at the green screen. U.S. Census Bureau says the U.S. is home to an estimated 42 million potential trick-or-treaters in 2021. Now, what do they define a trick-or-treater as, a potential trick-or-treater?
That is someone who is a human child between the ages of 5 and 14.
Well, okay, hold up. We just may have uncovered a hidden market. Trick-or-treaters for pets.
Oh.
Like what if you normalize that or have something like that where people dress up their dog and walk them and the dog gets a treat?
We're going to talk about this later. We're going to talk about pet.
Are we?
Halloween,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I want to talk about it because I think it's a growing trend. And who knows, the U.S. Census Bureau may start asking that question.
That's a good thing.
I have a very good friend whose father has worked for the Census Bureau for the last 5-6 years and is constantly involved in U.S. Census Bureau
We should have
surveys.
them on as a guest.
Fascinating things all the time, So we need to find out,
We do need to find out.
how can we throw something into this? What can we suggest to the government that they might add to this?
Normalize ferrets.
So but
Halloween
this is for children between the ages of 5 and 14. What we are trying to scope out kids.
Easy.
So we're
going to move on from it. There is a disparity here because you obviously have some states that just have a bigger population.
Right.
And so you have California leading the way with 5 million kids that fit in this category. Now, I will say this before we get in too far, because, we do Halloween over here a lot, and we see trick-or-treaters come through. Unfortunately, there are a handful, a notable percentage of trick-or-treaters that are above 14 years old.
What is your official position on trick-or-treaters plus 14?
Okay. For me, they don't even need hot take quake.
Whoop, whoop.
They don't even need to get to 14. Like when you become a teenager,
like 13, like 12 and under should be doing this.
Exactly. I think once you become a teenager, your interests change. And so you're no longer there, this innocent kid with your family going to trick or treat. Instead, you are going just for some free candy and potentially to cause trouble.
Some rabble rousing.
Exactly. And maybe that's the fatherhood coming down on us now and we're being old men, but I don't know. It's always weirded me out a little bit. Now, if you're going with a group of friends, chances are you're going to a party or you're going to an event. Trick-or-treating just feels like that should be a children's thing. Should be 12 years old should be the cap. 12 and under is fine with me. 13 and 14, I guess it depends on I don't know why I did this, like a little move there, like a sexy move. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that age has some flexibility, but for me, it needs to be preteen.
Have you ever had just an adult come to your door?
Just like a 30-year-old just walk?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had that. I've had some 19-year-old, 20-year-olds that have rolled up before.
Do you give them candy?
Begrudgingly. If I know them, no. Then I'm like, no, what are you doing, you dummy? Get out of here. But if it's someone I don't know, then I give them the worst candy. They get the circus peanuts or the popcorn ball. Yeah.
What about the little packs of carrot sticks and apples?
Ugh.
Apple slices. Yeah. You should have those on hand for the people that you deem
That's right.
you are not worthy of the actual candy. So if you're going to play this game, I'm going to play it too.
So just know, if you listen to the podcast and come to our house and get carrot sticks, we have a problem with you.
But yeah, so California,
list.
all the big states have the most potential trick-or-treaters. So there's nothing really interesting there. But this is when you begin to get your shovel out and you dig down a little deeper.
Yeah.
What you find.
Yeah, you find. So let's talk about our own home state real quick of Arkansas. We have just shy of 400,000 potential trick-or-treaters, which is a pretty decent number. It's probably on the back third of the country, but maybe creeping into that second third. But like, you've got some other interesting ones here. Texas is in the when it comes to percentages. That's where we're going to. That's where we find really interesting information. And they give us a top 4 list here of the 4 states with the highest percentages of possible trick-or-treaters.
We have moved from potential trick-or-treaters to possible trick-or-treaters. I wonder what the definition of that is.
I'm assuming very similar, but among their general population. So the fourth on this list, the number 4 and 3 are very surprising to me.
Yeah.
Number 1's very surprising too, but
yes.
3 and 4 are probably more surprising than that. I've got reasons why number 1 is not as surprising, but number 4 on the list is Idaho. You know where I'm going, don't you? Number 4 is Idaho at 14.2% of their population. That's a lot of kids in the state. It's a very young state.
Yes. I also wondered. It's not in their top 3 because we're going to talk about costumes later.
Yeah.
I want to know where potatoes rank on the costume list for Idaho.
You don't think they're tired of it? Just walking around. The problem with dressing up like potatoes is just if you're not from Idaho or don't have the mindset of potato and you look out your window, there's just a bunch of dookie walking around. Like it's just these brown blobs just walking the streets of Idaho.
And if you live in Idaho, could you just like hand out bags of like Lay's potato chips? Is that what they do for trick-or-treating in Idaho?
We're stereotyping so hard, and I like it. But you could do different forms of potato.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this house has a whole bunch of kids, and so they go as like a carton of fries.
Ooh.
Somebody walking around as a tater tot.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that.
You could get very creative with your potato. There could be an untapped... How about potential potato trick-or-treaters? I feel like we should capitalize on that market. It would be a very niche market, but who knows? It could really take off. But yeah,
I'm
Idaho.
looking to see, do we have any listeners from Idaho? We don't. We don't have a single listener from Idaho.
Probably won't. Tag somebody from Idaho, please.
Yes.
Tell them to listen to this podcast.
Do.
We finally included them. They always get overlooked out there.
Yeah, they're going to love this part of the podcast for sure.
But no. At 14.2% of their Gen Pop.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Is it because there's nothing else to do? Because number 3 is Alaska.
Now, here is why this one is surprising to me. Because it's already, isn't it like winter in Alaska already?
It always winter, isn't it?
I know they have like 2 weeks out of the year, I think, where it's nice. I've got some good friends that live in Fairbanks. And I've seen some pictures where it looked pretty cold up there already. A lot of snow. So
really,
the Alaskans are getting out and doing the trick-or-treating. Maybe this is like their last big hurrah, though, before
that's true.
Everybody snowed in for winter.
I'm going to look at the world clock and see what
time it is.
Yeah, what time is it? What the time difference is.
They're 5 hours, I believe, behind us.
Yeah.
Is it 5?
No.
It's 4.
It's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I was thinking of Hawaii.
Again, we operate.
No knowledge. We just say things.
Speaking of which, that is now a shirt. Go on to our website, hit the link in the bio wherever you're listening to this, and you can buy that shirt that lets people know that, number 1, you're a fan of the show. Number 2, if you like to also speak from a place of no knowledge.
You just throw things out.
It's like a warning for everybody who comes in contact with you.
Like if I were to write this article, I could put all these statistics in too, but I would not be quoting the U.S. Census Bureau.
There's a reason we don't have a website like that has articles on it, because we're just going to make stuff up. Number 3 on this, or number 2 on this list of percentages is Texas at 14.5%.
Not surprising.
No.
You would think that would be there.
Yeah.
So this makes me wonder, why are Floridians and Californians and New Yorkers, why aren't they getting out and trick-or-treating?
Florida's made up mostly of old people.
Okay, so they're retired. It's too dangerous to trick-or-treat in New York? Are you wandering down? I mean,
let's be honest.
There's more than New York City.
Yeah, but most of the population is in the city. And so,
is it not that big there?
I don't know. You
live in apartments?
Yeah, it may just be because the population is younger there. Like a lot of business professionals.
Not as many kids?
Yeah, they're not really families or in other states. Not to say there's not families in New York, but
well, I mean, if you look at the numbers though, there are 2.3 million kids. Florida has 2.4 million, and I was going to say something about the population of New York versus Florida, but once again, as is our theme, I do not know the population of New York, nor do I know the population of Florida. Again, just going in my mind, I would think that New York would have more people than Florida.
Yeah, I would too.
I can prove myself wrong, though, really fast before somebody on TikTok does, because I know that's what's going to happen. New York has 20 million people.
And Florida has
21.5 million people.
So
they're pretty equal.
Yeah, they're pretty equal. And their numbers here as far as kids go. So the ratio is pretty similar either way. Number one, though, percentage-wise in the United States is Utah, which blows away, according to these numbers. Like 3, 4, or 2, 3, and 4 are all within a 0.1 percentage point. Utah is at 16.2% of their population is kids.
And I know where this is going. We all know where this is going.
Yeah,
the reason
it's Utah, we're gonna let
they have lots of kids in Utah.
We believe the intelligence of our audience. You can put two and two together. There's reasons why Utah.
They love family.
Yeah, big families.
Families are important.
Very important out in Utah. So, I mean, that's not super surprising once you really think about it.
It's not, but I also, part of me would have thought that maybe some of the people from Utah with their most popular denomination would be kind of anti-Halloween.
Well, and they may be. Remember, this is probably just going off census data.
That's true.
So
very good.
They may not be actually celebrating Halloween. They may just be of age to do so.
That's a very astute point that you just made. That is great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, give us our next category.
Okay, we're going to talk now about, hang on, let me get to the right one. Pumpkins. I'm going to talk about pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
You know, this is sort of the stuff's falling off the wall over there.
What fell?
I don't know. It wasn't Batman.
Oh,
he's still hanging.
There's a little tape off the light.
All right. Pumpkins, the essential decoration, not just of this holiday, but of the entire fall season.
That's true.
And one of the biggest party activities, craft things that you can do with your family, is to carve up those pumpkins.
Yeah.
So where do people get their pumpkins from? This kind of...
Pumpkin patch, duh.
Well, yes. But this kind of shook me. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't prepared.
If I'm going to be honest, though, I had never thought about where pumpkins come from. I don't think of a state when I think, I think of a peach when I think of Georgia.
You think of potatoes when you think of Idaho.
I think of apples of New York. I don't think of pumpkins.
No. Okay. Before we do that, I want to give you a statistic from the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Please do.
Okay. The national utilized production of pumpkins, it increased 26% in 2021, from 1.3 trillion pounds to 1.65 trillion pounds.
Wow.
And why do we think that pumpkin utilization went up so much last year?
I'm going to guess pumpkin spice stuff. People making pumpkin spice flavored things.
You think?
I don't know.
My guess would be that due to pandemic-related things, people may not have been out doing as much, and so people bought pumpkins, right?
But this was 2021. This was just last year. Do you think
it took a year for pumpkin carving to catch on? Like 2020, people were still like, I don't know what we should do.
Honestly, I wonder if it's not because of something like TikTok. I wonder if people are seeing all these creative things that people are doing on TikTok and go, oh, I want to try that.
Are you a good pumpkin carver?
Honestly, I haven't done it in a while.
Have we done that as a group activity before?
I feel like we have, but I don't remember.
If it's anything like our, what's that other thing we do every year? You know what I'm trying to think of.
We make cookies at Christmas.
Cookies and those
the gingerbread houses.
Gingerbread houses.
We've been together. We're finishing each other's sentences. This is a 15-year-long relationship, and we're just.
I am not the best at decorating these things. Okay,
those fine motor skills.
That's not me. And I feel like pumpkin carving might not be me either.
But there's become a new trend of pumpkin painting. So you don't even have to carve the pumpkin anymore. You can just paint on it.
Yes.
And that you can actually do more things that way.
I love the pumpkin painting idea. In fact, Erica painted one last year, the year before. I mean, it sat around the house till the thing just like completely wilted and collapsed. Yeah. And
they do last longer because
they do.
That oxidation hasn't hit the inside of the pumpkin yet. I saw one guy on TikTok who said so this is a pro tip for those who are looking to make pumpkins the day of Halloween or after. But for next year, carve your pumpkin from the bottom. Instead of lobbing off the top, do it from the bottom, flip it over, put your pumpkin in a bowl or something where the stem sticks out, empty it that way, then flip it back over to carve the shape. And it makes for a more pleasing aesthetic because
the top, you don't have to try to stick the top back in?
Yeah. You just set it down on something.
And it took TikTok to help us figure this out.
I had never thought of it before.
Because we've always just cut the top off the pumpkin.
Yeah. It just makes sense. It's just a more pleasing, pleasing look.
If you hadn't, obviously we've seen the states. Yes. You haven't, unless you are following along with us at U.S.
News and World Report.
Yeah. If I had to ask you, though, what you would have guessed as the pumpkin state, what would it be?
Honestly, it would have been a state that I'm thinking of, like a Vermont. Honestly, because like fall, I think of Vermont and Connecticut, Maine even maybe, when I'm thinking of fall and fall leaves, and New Hampshire, like New England for sure is where my mind goes to when I think of fall. Maybe a Tennessee or West Virginia. That's where I would have went, but I would have been dead wrong.
This says that 13 states produce the country's pumpkins.
It's crazy.
I don't know that I would have thought of even 13 states making up.
I mean, I would have thought that each state is producing some amount of pumpkins, right? Like Arkansas is not on this list.
We grow pumpkins.
But we grow pumpkins.
I mean, there's pumpkin patches all over the place.
But I'm guessing they're talking about nationwide production, like shipping it to a Starbucks for their PSLs or...
Okay, yeah, because this says national utilized production, which is a very fancy term.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means. So whatever that means, though, is where this information is coming from.
Do you want to start down at number 13, I guess, the bottom of this list, and work our way up? Just real quickly?
Yeah.
Wisconsin, 1.6%. North Carolina, 1.7%. Oregon, 2.87%. Washington, 3.5%.
That would be one that I would have thought of.
Yeah, I can see that. Ohio at 4.2%.
The other state I would think might be a pumpkin state.
New York at 4.6%.
Yep.
Pennsylvania, 4.8%.
Yep.
Virginia, 4.8%.
Sure.
Rounded up to 4.9 on that one. Michigan, 5.26%. Texas.
I wouldn't have guessed Texas.
Would not have. I mean, I guess it's just
the
a
climate.
Maybe.
I don't know what kind of climate pumpkins grow in.
We have no idea.
I'm not a pumpkin horticulturist. Is that what they're called? Horticulturist.
Yeah, something like that.
Using way too many big words today.
California you're taking a jump here. So we've been staying within a percentage point.
4 or 5. Yeah.
We're jumping up from 6 to 9.3 in California.
Which makes sense to me.
Yeah, again, land size alone. And the climate's over there is pretty good. They lack a lot of water, but the next jump, Indiana at nearly 11%. And the Mac Daddy of all pumpkin places, apparently, according to this list, at a whopping 39.5%.
That just...
What in the world?
I would have never guessed.
4 times more pumpkins than Indiana is Illinois. Illinois coming in at the top of this list. We're fascinated by this. I hope listeners and people watching
They find as much interest in pumpkin production as we do.
Like, this is just, it's a huge jump from Indiana to Illinois, and they're right beside each other.
Yes. Right there.
That's amazing to me.
Pumpkins are available from late August through October. I am looking at Penn State website here about pumpkins, trying to figure out where they like to grow. If there's anything that leads us to a reason why Illinois and Indiana are the two big, especially Illinois.
I mean, part of me is wondering, like, did just the state go all in on it? Like, did they say we got to have something? Like, we got to be known for something. Like, let's just go all, like, Arkansas went rice and soy, so like we can't do that. You know, Georgia's got peaches, Florida's got gators. I don't know. All these different states,
Oranges.
Oranges. We're just going to go all in on pumpkins and throw all of our resources and tax breaks and all this kind of stuff toward pumpkins. That's because again, Indiana's right there next to them.
Okay. The ideal climate for growing pumpkins lies 4 to 5 degrees north and south of the 45th parallel. So that clues us in.
Okay.
I don't have a map to explain to you where the 45th parallel is.
I mean, it makes sense. Looking at this list, you can kind of picture most of them are north of Missouri. Texas is the outlier there, though.
You're looking for sunny, warm summers, an appreciable amount of rain, and the ideal temperature for pumpkin growing is 85 in the day with no more than a 20-degree drop in nighttime temperatures and a relative humidity of 60%.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense for them then. But again, you could talk about any Midwestern state and probably hit that.
So Nebraska's growing corn. Yeah. Iowa's growing corn. That's the corn people.
Yeah, Idaho's doing the potatoes.
They're doing the potatoes. That. You know, because we call the Midwest the breadbasket,
right,
of America.
Ohio is doing Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Illinois leading,
Illinois.
I mean, blowing away the rest of the country.
Oh, it's not even close.
So, how big of a business is pumpkin patches in Illinois? Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh! You know, I guess you've got Chicago right there. I'm guessing. I wonder if Halloween's huge in Chicago.
See, but I would think that Chicago may be too far north. I mean, it's up there right on the lake.
That's a good point. I would love to
think
see
further southern Illinois would be your pumpkin growing area.
That may be, closer to St. Louis. Closer,
there's a lot of farm land in southern Illinois.
That's a good point. There's a lot of farmland out there. Okay, we're moving on from pumpkins, and now we're going to get into, speaking of the breadbasket of the country, we're getting to the breadbasket of Halloween.
Oh.
Okay, outside of candy, costumes are the next biggest thing when it comes to Halloween.
Okay.
And if you missed our candy episode that we did a few years ago, we reran it last week, so go catch up and listen to that one. We're going to talk about Halloween costumes now. And before we get into the actual costumes, let's talk about how much people are willing to spend on their Halloween costumes.
Apparently, they're willing to spend a lot.
A lot of money, okay? NRF projects $10.6 billion in American spending on the holiday. Okay, that's just the holiday in general. Of that amount, that, by the way, is the highest in the 18 years of collecting data. Of that amount, nearly $4 billion is expected to be spent on costumes alone. The highest categorical segment in spending. So you've got your nearly $4 billion, 3.6, nearly $4 billion expected on costumes. Just shy, 2.9 billion are on children and adult costumes.
Okay. Pause right there.
Exactly.
Did you see what I saw looking at this chart? We just finished saying that trick-or-treaters, potential trick-or-treaters are defined as children ages 5 to 14.
This is such a surprising statistic to me.
The people who are spending the most on costumes, it's adults buying costumes for themselves.
It's true.
Adult costumes are selling at 1.7 billion of that.
Yep.
Kids are down there at 1.2 billion.
They're in second place of 3.
Yes.
Children are second place of 3. And you're like, well, who else is left?
pets.
The pets. There is a massive pet category. The NRF is projecting a record $710 million on pet costumes.
Like pet costumes are closing in on the 1 billion mark. Like pets
so
are almost
funny.
catching up to your kids. You're like, Johnny, we don't have the money for a costume for you this year, but Fido, we got to dress him up.
You know what's really funny to me? You look at this, like a lot of things took a hit in 2020. Costumes, they took a hit, but not that big of a hit. They still racked in $2.7 billion in costumes during 2020 when trick-or-treating was cut way down. So that's a surprising number to me, but it is definitely the biggest it's been in a long time this year. You can tell people are out of COVID.
I mean, I would also be curious to know, does inflation have anything to do with that? Because it's costing us more to buy
that's a good point.
Costumes as well.
That's a great point.
I would be interested to see if that was adjusted for inflation, how it would look.
That's a great point.
But that's what you mentioned something about pets earlier. We're talking about, we're going to try to get on the horn with the Census Bureau and see if we can get pet statistics, into this.
Yeah.
So before we talk about people costumes, let's talk a little bit about what Americans are buying for their animals.
Yeah. One of them makes complete sense to me, and I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
I mean, you guys used to have a wiener dog.
Yeah, we did.
And there's nothing funnier to me than a wiener dog dressed up as a hot dog.
It's hilarious. You remember the Super Bowl? It was the Heinz commercial from a few years ago where they had all these wiener dogs running through the field and they're all dressed up as hot dogs. It's so hilarious.
Funny. Oh my gosh. Now I don't know if you guys have ever dressed up your pets.
Nope.
That's not something I ever do. We bought a winter sweater for Marcy one year, and it was really just to try to control her shedding during that time of year. We've never been on that. But the most common costume choices for American pep boys are pumpkin. I guess that's just a little pumpkin hat or something. A hot dog, a bat, a bumblebee, and a witch.
At first, I thought that said a brat. I was like, hot dogs and brats are really popular among the pets.
We're just hungry.
I now see that's a bat, as in like a Louisville Slugger or, like the Batman.
That would be hilarious just to see this.
It's a baseball bat.
Just to see a bat walking in. I'm assuming like a vampire bat or something. Just little wings, and pet costumes. If you're a pet owner and you like to dress up your animals, like send us pictures or send us video or tag us or reply on TikTok, whatever. But like, I'm very curious on how this works and how long do they stay in a costume? It can't be long.
See, just knowing our dog, I don't think Max would stay in one. I think it would be shred. I don't know that we'd ever get it on him. I think it would be just a complete fight trying to put him in one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my sister dresses up her dog. She has a wiener dog. I need to suggest to her that she make Dusty a hot dog though this year.
I've seen some of them. Now, one costume I do think is kind of cool is where they give a lion mane on them.
Those are amazing.
And make them look like a lion or something walking around. I mean, TikTok and Instagram, they're all full of videos of people doing really creative stuff with their animals. But again, are they really doing anything with it? Or they just think it's cute and it's fun. We'll post a video and be done. Or are they walking there? I mean, I guess, last year we did Scooby-Doo as a theme, and we had Marcy have the Scooby-Doo collar. So I guess we have dressed up our dog.
You have done it.
Look at me. Look at me being a modern part of society. Do we want to move on from animals and talk about peoples now?
Yeah, let's talk about the human version of costumes.
Go through this map for the people.
This is, they really. This is from Google.
Yeah.
Okay. They've given us some insight on a really cool website. They have a website called Google Frightgeist, and it's really cool. It's animated.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So a whole thing, you can dial it down locally to your area.
Wow.
Like inside of your
inside
state.
the state? Wow.
Yes. And look at what the top stuff
That's really interesting.
that's selling.
What's it called? What's the site?
It is Google Frightgeist.
Okay. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, check that out. So they have been collecting data. Who would have known that Google does that? Which costumes?
That it's surprising to me.
That's got to be the most iconic, or one of, right? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Ghosts, which is, it's probably a long time top selling costume.
Yeah.
So it took the number one spot, I think, in 11 states, more than any other costume.
But every year there are like these iconic pop culture things where you see a lot of people dressing up as like 2020. I'm betting at any Halloween party you went to, if you were going to Halloween parties in 2020, how many Joe Exotics did you probably see?
Oh man.
I mean, just anything that's in pop culture. I love those Halloween costumes, are my personal favorite. So it seems that just tells you maybe there wasn't a lot going on in pop culture in 2022 where which takes the top spot. I'm wondering.
But just looking across the U.S. map here, other than maybe one thing, there doesn't seem to be a huge pop culture reference in the costumes that are selling.
So let's go. We don't have to go state by state on all of them. I would love. There's a few of them though. Let's talk about before we get into like the top list of the country. Each state, there's a few interesting ones. Let's talk about our own home state for a second. Arkansas, what are you doing?
Oh, I think I found myself a cheerleader.
Cheerleader is number one in Arkansas, and I'm. Maybe it's because our sports teams are doing so well in Arkansas. I didn't think about that till just now. Maybe they're all dressed up as Arkansas cheerleaders.
It was followed by Stranger Things and Top Gun. Now, there's a pop culture reference.
Yeah, both of those. And when I'm thinking back to 2022, those two, and I can't think of much else that would be pop culture references that I would want to dress up as. You're going to see a lot of flight suits while you're trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, like, Stranger Things you dressed up as in the 80s or maybe like 11.
I could see 11. In fact, the costumes that I've seen in Google, if you look at Stranger Things, always seems to come up with 11 first.
Yeah. The only other state doing cheerleader is South Carolina.
Us in South Carolina.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, here's one that kind of caught my eye, and that is Alaska.
Okay.
Along with Delaware.
Yeah.
Alaska and Delaware.
What y'all doing?
They're doing rabbits.
I don't get
Rabbits are popular.
Why are they so popular?
Along in Alaska, number 2 is Bluey. Is that
That is a children's program.
Okay.
It's a blue heeler dog, an animated cartoon.
Okay. And then again,
we'll find out soon.
I was going to say, I don't know about these things yet. And then again, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
In Delaware, it was Rabbit, Witch, and the Wizard of Oz, which we did the Wizard of Oz.
We did do the Wizard of Oz
a couple years ago.
It's been a few years. So yeah, I'm. It's very interesting to see the state by state breakdown. We have a lot of listeners in Virginia. Let's look at Virginia. Looks like Virginia's doing Spider-Man. So all of our listeners in Spider-Man, that's a good costume.
It is
to be looking up. Followed by Dinosaur and Rabbit. Again, Rabbit's making the list here too, in their top 3. I'm curious.
Somebody out there has to be able to clue us in on what the phenomenon with Rabbit is.
Because I can't piece it together. I can't think. Is it pop culture? I don't know.
That's your Easter costume.
Yeah, right.
Why are you wearing it?
Unless this may be a little bit Best Things After Dark.
Oh,
maybe they're going as bunnies.
Oh.
Maybe there's some ladies dressed up as bunnies.
So the spending on adult costumes, I guess I could see that.
That may be. And if so, Alaska. Okay.
Wow.
Getting after it. Like bunnies. Okay. Hey, that's my joke for the day. Thank you.
But Spider-Man, Michigan, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Nevada, and California.
Yeah.
They're all doing Spider-Man number 1.
Yeah. Lots of Spider-Man. One that stuck out to me is Wisconsin.
They're in a league by themselves.
They're kind of doing their own thing. They've got the Renaissance going on in Wisconsin. Or sorry, that's Minnesota. Minnesota doing the Renaissance, followed by a fairy and Stranger Things. There's several fairies on here.
Fairies. Is that because of Peter Pan?
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's just easy. Some of these are just easy also.
Only 3 states are participating number 1 in the time period.
Yeah.
And that's the Renaissance up in Minnesota. And then you've got Mississippi and Vermont doing the 1980s, which seems to be very popular for a lot of things.
And I could see if you're doing that ties into Stranger Things also.
Yes. I bet, let's see, Stranger Things does not come up in the top 3 on Mississippi.
Mississippi's got the 1980s Harley Quinn and Spider-Man.
And Vermont does not have Stranger Things in it. They have Chucky and Tinkerbell.
Interesting. I'm guessing there's several states on here with dinosaur. I'm guessing those are the inflatable T-Rexes.
Those things are awesome.
They're so cool.
I almost bought an inflatable shark costume to wear a few weeks ago. I don't know for what purpose, but I came across it on Amazon, and there was video of a guy wearing it, and it looked fun. It was like, it would be fun to walk down the street and just like wave at people in this shark costume.
So for our house, Lauren loves doing Halloween stuff here. Our house is like a destination house in our neighborhood because Lauren loves doing party stuff and she goes all out. She's a little bougie and extra when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so every year we have a theme, and I found a video on TikTok where it was somebody who had the theme of Jurassic Park for their home. And you walk and you turn around the corner and they have this thing that looks like a fence. It's just roped off. And inside the rope fence, there's just about 10 of these inflatable dinosaur costumes just walking around like they're in a zoo. And that was their Jurassic Park. You had the little T-Rex, you had a Triceratops, all these inflatable animals just kind of walking around, people being stupid. And I want to do that so badly now. That's all I can think of.
So did you convince her to do the house?
No.
That theme?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
We
got a year.
Do you know the theme of the house this year?
Yes. It's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
You're part of this.
I am part of that. I am not the costume guy.
No.
If I could just have a sticky name tag and write, Dave on it and be somebody else for a night, I'm good. I'm sort of like Jim in The Office where, that's kind of his thing too. So I guess I am Christopher Robin this year because that's about as basic as it can get for me.
Yeah,
and
we're all super basic this year. Let's be honest.
Still participate.
I am Tigger. I'm wearing a onesie. We're all, I think, pretty much wearing some onesies, I guess.
Well, I'm not.
You're not.
I'm wearing a polo and shorts.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's not cold.
Not too cold that night.
I was thinking of that the other day. Like, man, I hope it's not cold. Erica is coming as Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
She fits the part of it.
She
at
does.
At this stage of her pregnancy.
Aren't we adorable? Erica's Pooh Bear she's got the biggest of the bellies because y'all are 3 months ahead. Lauren is it Kanga or
Kanga.
Roo? I don't know which one is which, but like she's got the little Joey in there. That's for those wondering, like that's why we're doing it. Let's be honest.
Yes,
that's the reason. Okay, let's go top down.
Okay,
or let's go down
bottom up.
Yeah, 10 to 1. These are the most Googled searches for costumes nationwide. So we're going away from states. We're looking at nationwide. Here's number 10.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I feel like that was more popular though 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I figure this was higher up the list. It feels like though the moment has kind of passed for that one. I'm surprised it's still in the top 10.
I will say there's an animated series of Harley Quinn that's been very popular this year.
Oh, okay.
But, again, that's a fairly easy one. You don't have to go buy a costume. You can kind of piece it together based on stuff you may have. And you can downplay it if you're a kid, and you can really upplay it if you're an adult. And you can go all the different routes that you can put your imagination to as an adult costume.
Number 9 is a cowboy. Not as in Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys. just a average cowboy.
Regular old cowboy.
I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, again, you can have fun with that one.
You can go the Toy Story direction with it. I think you could have a lot of fun with cowboy.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a theme one year should be Cowboys and Indians, but instead you go as the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Indians. Well, it's Guardians now.
It's the Guardians now. Yeah. I mean, it could be a throwback though.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Number 8 is a cheerleader.
Arkansas obviously liked that one.
I guess so. Again, you can play it up, play it down. It's a wide demographic.
Yep.
Number 7 is rabbit.
There it is.
I hadn't figured it out yet. What's number 6?
Pirate. Arr. This one feels like a quintessential Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Like, this one's fun.
Yeah.
What kid doesn't want to dress up as a pirate? And, I mean, again, you can have fun as an adult with that one if you're into doing the costume thing.
Yeah.
Get your buckle, or is it swashbuckler? You know what I'm talking about.
Swashbuckler.
You can go, Johnny Depp big into it.
You can. Yeah. You can go full-on cartoon version.
You got Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways. Lauren's favorite is Hook from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yes.
I did that one year with her. Yeah. So, I mean, you can go a lot of different ways with that. Number 5?
Fairy.
Kind of goes with pirate, right? You could do Tinkerbell and Hook.
It could be a whole Peter Pan party.
Yeah. I'm guessing, again, this is kind of a classic. Little girls, it's easy. Tutu, some glitter. Oh, I hate glitter.
You do. You're going to have a lot of that.
You got to have a lot of it. And then number 4 is Stranger Things. We kind of talked about that already. Number 3 is a dinosaur. Again, it's got to be inflatable, right?
I would think so.
I mean, how else are you dressing up as a dinosaur? And why would you? I mean, Jurassic World came out this year.
I guess you could have a hood, like on your hoodie.
Like a onesie kind of thing.
With a dinosaur top on that, maybe for a kid.
Yeah. Give us number 2.
Spider-Man.
Those costumes, that has to be the most, obviously it's the most popular superhero costume. It's got to be the easiest too, right? Like a lot of them are like those skin suits or the onesie. You just put the thing over. I actually know a professional Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he lives in Heber Springs, and you can rent him out to be Spider-Man at events.
What does he do?
He's Spider-Man, man. He's Spider-Man, man. He dresses the part. He looks like, he's got a nice professional looking costume, and he will go out. He'll do all the poses. He'll jump around, a little parkour, and he'll entertain that way.
Does he have spider webs that he can shoot?
That I don't think so. That'd be awesome. He'd get like next level events if he did that.
Big time.
Number 1.
There it is.
It's a witch. Surprise.
Okay. I am a little surprised. Like, I would figure a ghost.
Exactly.
Maybe a zombie.
Yeah.
Some of those things.
Dracula?
I would have figured those made the top 10.
A mummy? Where are these on this list?
Batman came in at 19. I'm surprised Spider-Man is more popular than Batman.
I am too.
And by that much.
Yeah.
Joker was at 23.
Number 32 was Poison Ivy, which that and Harley Quinn kind of go together based on that new series.
Number 14, this one I would have thought would have been higher, and that's Hocus Pocus. With the release of Hocus Pocus 2,
exactly.
I thought that would have been further up the list.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go pop culture relevant, it's got to be Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Catwoman comes in at number 46. That's always a really easy one, too. You just throw on some cat ears and wear black leather or something. So,
if you had to choose a superhero costume, would it be Batman?
Yeah. Probably because I have a lot of it already. I've already got the cowl,
Would Spider-Man be in your list?
Not with my body.
How about Iron Man?
There's no reason for spandex or tight-fitting clothes to be on this figure.
That's true.
Iron Man, yeah, I would love. I would love to have some kind of suit like that and have some fun in.
Is there anything else that you can think of that should have been on the list?
I mean, other than those classics,
Like Buzz Lightyear. Lightyear came out this year.
that's very an involved though costume. You know, I guess
You think it is? You don't think that they're selling Buzz costumes?
I'm sure they are for kids. I think a lot of these that are in the top,
They do
searches,
double duty?
Exactly. Anybody can wear them. I think there's probably a lot of elementary and pre-K boys, especially, walking around as Buzz Lightyear. But I don't think adults are doing all that work. I don't think they're going that hard into it.
Okay, I could see that.
So, most we already saw, like, adults make up the majority of costume sales, and so a lot of these are going to lean adult. But the reason they're in this top of the list is because they can be used for either.
That makes sense. I'm with you.
Okay, well, let us take a quick break from talking about things that have to do with Halloween, and let's listen to some of your feedback, shall we?
We love hearing you talk about us. It's time for the best things about the best things. Want to hear your feedback on the show? Email us at feedback@bestthingspod.com, tweet at us at bestthingspod, or leave us a review.
Okay, we're going to Instagram for this week's feedback, and we posted a video not long ago about our last episode. I think, we talked about our last new episode. We talked about movie vehicles. That was a fun episode.
It was.
And I asked you which one you preferred, the Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon, and you said the Enterprise. Because you thought...
Did I?
You did. I have it on video.
That doesn't sound like me.
You thought the Enterprise because you think more people know about Star Trek than Star Wars.
Okay, I do remember saying that.
Because of the series and the movies and things like that. Aaron, I hate to break it to you. This is a rare moment where people disagree with you completely on Instagram.
That makes me happy, though. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So, because I think you are more of a Star Wars fan than you are a Star Trek fan.
Absolutely.
So, kudos. Lots of people saying Cap.
That's lie.
That is young people vernacular for lie. That's what the youths would say.
Yep.
Finn likes stuff. Says, no doubt I would take the Enterprise over the Falcon, but no shot people know about Star Trek more than Star Wars.
Hang on. They agreed with what I said then.
Yeah.
Okay.
They agree with you about the Falcon, but they think more people know about Star Wars than Star Trek, though. So they disagreed with you.
Hang on. Read it again. That's not what you said.
No doubt I would take the Enterprise over the Falcon, but no shot people know about Star Trek more than Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no shot.
They lost me with the vernacular there for a second.
Raider _2uno3_ says, George Lucas shocked the world with Star Wars. Like, come on. The Star Wars is part of Disney, kids. We're going to know of Star Trek, and Star Trek will die in less than 10 years. So they're thinking Star Trek will be fizzled out by 10 years from now.
So I would say I think that Star Trek is less popular now.
It's true.
It's just had a longer run, and I think the older generation knows Star Trek, where they may not be as familiar with Star Wars. And obviously Disney's shoving Star Wars stuff down our throats constantly with all of their content. Nobody's doing Star Trek stuff.
Yeah. Bow_Bravo says Star Trek is only on par with Star Wars in the U.S. Star Wars is far greater than Star Trek anywhere else in the world.
Oh,
I never thought about that.
I'm a little surprised by that.
You think?
I kind of would have thought, again, outside of Disney Plus shoving Star Wars at us, that Star Trek may have been more popular internationally.
Interesting. Dawson_Gray_04 says, I've seen every Star Wars movie and most of the TV shows and haven't watched a single thing of Star Trek. That's surprising to me, too.
It is. You should do that. There is considerably more Star Trek content to consume than there is Star Wars content, I think.
Yeah.
Just based on how many series they've had. So hours for hours, I think Star Trek takes the cake.
Yeah.
On that. But no, I mean, I'm glad to hear that people
Yeah, me too.
today seem to be embracing Star Wars more.
Yeah, I prefer Star Wars over Star Trek. The movies with Chris Pine I really liked.
Yeah, it was good.
Because I think if you grew up watching Star Trek on TV, you might appreciate Star Trek more. But if you didn't, then I think it's lost on you. And I think most people in their 30s and kids today definitely lean Star Wars for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into some worst and see if anything comes out in the worst category. If I can find, there it is.
Welcome to the best things.
No. These aren't the best things. These are the worst things.
Let's get scratching.
Okay, we're going to talk about some of the worst things about Halloween, and there are some bad things about Halloween. I don't really have a list in front of me. I wasn't necessarily prepared for this part very much, but I will say this. Obviously pranks can happen around Halloween. That can be really annoying. If your house doesn't give out a lot of candy, or even if they do, like there's some people who are just bent on causing chaos on Halloween.
A lot of people see that as a night to, destroy things.
You can get your house egged or TP'd.
I had a friend last week. His students from church do it to him every year. It's in good fun. And he enjoys it, and he makes his kids go out and clean it up the next day. So, he doesn't mind it. It's fun. But, yeah, a lot of people will have that to happen.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Auburn fans.
I am not personally. I like a good Halloween scary kind of movie. I like a thriller or suspense movie. But Halloween's usually the time of year where you always get on theater or on streaming services, you get gore.
Horror, slasher.
You get those just shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
And I get that there are some people that like that and they appreciate that. I personally, that's one of the worst things for me.
Yeah.
I am not a over the top. I mean, I can handle some gore in a movie. I can handle blood and violence in a movie just fine. It's just when it's unnecessary and over the top and they're just doing it just to be doing it, it's just a turn off for me.
Yep.
I don't like it.
I'm with you 100%.
What worst things do you have?
Mine mainly revolved around food.
Yeah.
Candy.
Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now.
Oh, have you got some pulled up? I just saw one that I was going to nominate, and that's Good and Plenty's.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
Those are bad. You already mentioned in this episode Circus Peanuts.
Terrible.
A really bad candy. I would like to also nominate Three Musketeers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To the worst?
To the worst category.
You're going to mention Three Musketeers before you get to like Necco wafers or
I forgot about those.
Those little orange and black individually wrapped taffies or whatever.
Those don't even have a name. I forgot about those kids. They got like a pumpkin shape.
Where do you even get them?
Like, who's manufacturing those? They're like coming from somebody in a van somewhere that they're just wrapping those things up. I forgot about Necco wafers.
Necco wafers, man. I cannot believe they're still producing. I went to Five Below the other day because we were looking for candy to give out here that was themed to Winnie the Pooh. I was looking for Bit of Honeys, and Five Below had some, but they also had a whole thing of Necco wafers.
So they've obviously got to be popular to continue being made.
I guess.
Now, here's one I also want to nominate, and that is Smarties.
Dude, no, Smarties are great.
Also, I would like to just, in general, nominate any chalky candy. Chalk candies are trash.
Think about that.
Chalk candies.
They're not trash. Smarties
That's
are
the
great.
best way to eat them.
Smarties, sweet tarts. Love them.
Terrible.
Great. This list here's got, so I'm looking at a list. Necco wafers number 1. They have Smarties number 2.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Neither does Erica.
Candy buttons are number 3.
I don't know what those are.
I don't either. I've seen these. I've never had one. Candy corn. This is
a lot of people have visceral
polarizing.
reactions.
Yeah, I don't have a visceral reaction to candy corn.
I will eat candy corn. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite.
I don't like it or dislike it.
If you mix some peanuts in with it, you can make a little mix out of it.
It's a sugar hit. That's really what it is. Mellow cream pumpkins.
Those I can eat.
I don't know that I've ever had one.
To me, they're pretty much like Candy corn.
Yeah. How dum-dums, though, are on this list.
Okay, that one I have a real problem with. You're the worst.
Delicious.
Whoever put that on there.
Tootsie Rolls on this
That
list.
doesn't belong on the
No,
list.
it
Tootsie
doesn't.
Rolls are great.
Hot tamales, yeah.
I mean, I can see that. I'm not a fan of spicy candies. I'll eat one,
Yeah.
but it's not terrible.
Banana Laffy Taffy.
Yep,
Awful.
belongs there.
Terrible. Twizzlers.
See, if you wanted to put black licorice there,
Twizzlers, just to me, like, has no taste. Like, it just really didn't, it tastes like nothing. Like, I'm indifferent to Twizzlers. I don't reach for them. Every time somebody's got some Twizzlers, and they're like, do you want a Twizzler? I go, yeah. And I regret it,
yeah,
but I finish it. Like, it's just nothing.
I'm always disappointed by those.
I don't even know what a Mary Jane is.
Neither do I.
Mary Jane hard candy. Milk Duds. I like Milk Duds.
Milk Duds are good. Those
Yeah.
don't belong on the worst list.
Candy necklaces.
Chalky candy, trash.
It's novelty. Raisinets are underrated.
I love a good raisinette.
Raisinets are great. Werther's.
Oh, I love Werther's candy.
I'm not a fan of Werther's. That's old person candy.
See, I like Werther's. I like the butterscotch discs. You remember the ones that are in like the little strawberry package?
Yeah.
I like those.
I do like those. Those are great. They got the cream or the jelly like feeling.
That gel in the middle.
I do like
got
that.
called an old person. They were like, "Oh, you're ready to be a dad now?" Because at church a week or so ago, I had a butterscotch and one of those strawberry things in my pocket, and I was going to get rid of them before I left. And so I just handed each one to a couple of kids there, and one of the teens, they were like, "You're totally ready to be like a dad. You're handing out old man candy."
They got Mounds and Almond Joy on this list. They just must not like coconut.
I was going to say it's coconut.
That's the only
Give me a
reason.
Mounds bar all the time, dark chocolate.
That is good, but I like the almond. I like the hit of almond in there.
I like the almond too, but I'd rather have dark chocolate. Why can't we have an almond dark chocolate one?
Right.
Give us what we want.
Yeah. I like lemon heads.
Lemon heads are one of my favorite candies of all time.
They are fantastic.
They don't belong in the worst list.
And in China, when we were there, we have a friend there who hooks us up with this lemon candy. It's similar to lemon head, but so the outer section, it's almost like a warhead, but not that kind of sour. It's lemon head version. So it's got like it's like the strawberry candy.
Yeah.
So it's got an outer crunchy,
With a
hard
gooey
candy
middle?
with a gooey middle. Oh, they're so good. Whoppers?
Those belong on the worst list.
No.
Yes, Whoppers are bad.
Whoppers are good in the right context.
So
I can't
are-
eat a lot of them, but I like a good Whopper. The last one on this list are Dots.
Oh, I love Dots. It's probably the one candy I eat every single week.
Seriously?
I do eat Dots every single week.
Where are you? Why? You are an old man. I've always said you're like a 80-year-old and a.
So one of the auto auctions where I work, they always have a bowl of candy, and when I go in, they always have boxes of Dots in them. I take that when we're out working the auto auction. I find that I can put one in my mouth and it will last for 10 cars, and it just helps the time go by because I'm like counting down how long this box of Dots will last, and I measure it out I space them out by 10 cars.
Funny.
Yeah,
That is hilarious. So, like, do you control the time? So, like, if you chew faster, does it go by faster?
It does.
Wow.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, you got any other worsts on this?
I don't.
We'll just put bad costumes. I don't really have any great examples, but like people like Aaron, if he could do what he wanted to do with just the name tag, do better.
No. I mean, I guess you could put inappropriate costumes.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
the list.
Yeah, listen, don't wear inappropriate costumes out in the neighborhoods or to public events.
It's a family event.
Come on, do better.
There's families out there.
Do better, America. Okay, let's bracket this bad boy out then.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. It's time for the best thing bracket.
I don't remember who went first last time. And I don't.
Is that our list?
No, it was movie vehicles.
I think I went.
I think
First.
you did too.
Yeah, I went first on movie vehicles
So
because I took the Batmobile.
that's right. Yeah, you did that because I took. Yeah, it's a chain reaction. We can trace it back from there. Okay, so we're going to, if you're new to the podcast and you're already listening past the hour mark, Bill, thank you. Aren't you just a sweetheart? While you're here, go hit the subscribe button and help us out and leave us a review, all that kind of stuff. We're going to bracket this thing out. We're going to talk about stuff. Do we want to do costumes? We just want to focus in on costumes
Yes.
for the bracket?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go through, we're going to figure out which one is the best costume. Now, we can mention things we've mentioned already, but there may be things that we want to mention that aren't on this list. And so we're just going to throw out costumes that we think are worthy of being the top 8 costumes of all time, or we're going to go like this year or just whatever?
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just whatever. Okay. I think the way we judge this is if they come to our door, which one would be more likely to give more candy to?
Yes, I think that's a good way to do it. Like pieces of candy that you hand out.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got first pick here.
How do you determine how many pieces of candy that you give typically when they come? Do you let them grab or do you assign amounts of candy?
We usually give, unless we know the kid or something, then we'll let them reach.
Are you doing full size?
No, of course not.
Fun size?
No, fun size.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and like we don't even usually give out just rando candy. Like Lauren likes to theme the treats.
Like bit of honey.
Yeah. We're not doing bit of honey because she didn't like how they tasted, and she's like, kids aren't going to like this. But we are doing, we're doing
bit of
honey Teddy Grahams and gummy bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to go with Winnie the Pooh. So last year we got you can get Scooby snacks, believe it or not. So we got packages of Snoop. It's it's like graham cracker, but it's cinnamon. They're pretty good.
Like a Teddy Graham.
Yeah, like a Teddy Graham. I guess we're becoming that house. Okay. Number 1, I get first draft on Halloween costumes. I'm going pirate. I'm going to go classic, easy, good for either gender, like just pirate. That's number 1.
Well, that's the one I wanted to take. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it?
Got him.
Okay. Then I want to choose, can I just say superhero? Does it have to be specific? Can it be superhero?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'll allow it. Superhero. Second on the list. You know what? I'm going to do it because it didn't get a lot of love in this list from Google that we read. I'm going Ghost.
See, I almost went Ghost with my number 1 pick.
Yeah.
We're right along in the same thinking here.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm going Ghost. It deserves more credit than it got in that list. It's easy. Again, can go for anybody. Ghost. And not the was it 80s or 90s movie with the pottery. Yeah, not that Ghost.
Give me dinosaur.
Okay. That's a good one.
I like the inflatable dinosaurs. Those always crack me up. If somebody shows up with an inflatable dinosaur, you can bet I'm giving them more.
100%. Okay. If you can do superhero, can I do like just pop culture? Like the most popular culture thing that year? Like it was Joe Exotic one year, Stranger Things this year, like
okay.
Just as a generality.
Yeah.
Okay. Pop culture costumes.
Let's see. This is my
This is your third one.
I want cowboy.
That's a good pick.
You know, we didn't talk about the fact. Let's see, where did it go? I lost my map. Let me get it back here. New Mexico appears to be the only state doing clowns.
Oh. Clowns are...
People are pretty freaked out by... I've never understood people being freaked out by clowns.
I haven't either, but you know...
I've always thought clowns were fun.
So, you know, McDonald's retired Ronald McDonald a few years ago.
I didn't know that until you sent that to me the other day.
And they did it just because people associate clowns with horror now.
I don't, why did people have to ruin clowns?
I mean, clowns can definitely be creepy.
You can have creepy clowns, but you can have great clowns as well.
Yeah. So that was really surprising to me that Ronald, that he retired strictly because of that reason. It's surprising to me. Let's see. Man. I've got one pick left. And this is tough. Okay. Okay. Give me for my fourth pick, I don't know if you're going to allow this or not, punny costumes. So like raining cats and dogs. Like you wear something that has like little stuffed animals of cats and dogs and a thundercloud. Like super ironic, dad jokey.
Very on the nose.
Yes, punny costumes is what I'm going to go with.
Okay. I would give out candy to people, who did that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. Last one. I put it in the wrong spot. I put it in yours.
I want to go with...
Yes.
I don't know. I really don't know here.
This bracket's harder than I thought it would be.
Because I feel like there's just a handful of really good ones
Yeah.
that I like.
You don't want to go rabbit?
Let's see here.
You got witch.
Okay. Let's do Toy Story.
Okay.
I like Toy Story costumes. Always been a fan. 90s kid.
Yeah.
I like that.
I almost went just Disney. Because I think you could do that too.
I mean, there's Star Wars. Does that count as... That's not a superhero, though, is it?
No. I think you would count that as its own thing.
Do I want Star Wars over Toy Story?
Which would you give more candy to?
I would give more candy to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Let's swap that out.
Okay. Our bracket looks like this. First up, we have Pirates versus Star Wars.
Now, see, I don't like this.
So you get knock, knock, knock. You open the door, and you've got a pirate or Star Wars.
If Yoda is standing there, if Grogu is standing there, if Vader or...
We're gonna set the mood.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
What are we doing? We saying which one we want? Or are we going number or what?
We're going to start out by just saying which one we
Okay.
want.
All
So,
right.
which one you giving more candy to? Which one advances in our bracket? Pirate versus Star Wars. 3, 2, 1. Star Wars. I can't believe I did it too. But when you put it in that context, yeah. If someone, I think pirate is the more classic, iconic costume.
100%. I totally agree.
But if a little kid comes up as BB-8,
it's awesome.
100% giving candy. All right. Next one, superheroes versus punny costumes.
Oh, man, another tough one. Okay, all right.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Punny. Yep. Man, we did. This is full of upsets. Okay. Ghost versus cowboy. All right. Now we're back to a little bit more of a evenly matched competition here. Ghost versus cowboy. 3, 2, 1.
Cowboy.
Ghost. All right. 1 to 10. Ghost. 3, 2, 1. 7. Gives us 13. Cowboy. 3, 2, 1. 7. Okay.
15.
Cowboy moves on. Dinosaur versus a pop culture reference. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pop culture.
Whoa. Give me an example again of
Pop culture?
yeah. Well, I need to get something stuck in my mind to see coming to the door here.
You got two brothers. One's dressed up like Chris Rock. One's dressed up like Will Smith. Or you've got Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Okay, would that not be more punny, though?
I mean, no. This would be pop culture. When I'm thinking punny, I'm thinking of like, a chick magnet. Somebody dressed up like a magnet stuck to a chicken,
Okay, all right.
So like just really on the nose stuff. This is more pop culture, celebrity stuff like that. Okay, let's rewind and read this again. Dinosaur versus pop culture in 3, 2, 1. Pop culture. Yeah. Okay, you've got the choice on your side of the bracket: Star Wars versus Cowboy.
Star Wars.
Yeah, and over here, oh gosh, punny costumes versus pop culture. This is tough. I think I'm going pop culture though.
Are you sure? Again, if they show up at the door, which one's going to crack you up and be like, yeah, this person, this kid. And if someone above the age of 14 shows up, which one are you going to give candy to when they show up like this? You'd be like, oh, okay, you earned that.
That's a great. Oh man, that's a great way to put this. Which one would you pick?
Punny.
You'd go punny?
I would. I think it's close, but
yeah. Okay. You. Okay. Yeah. You saying what would you give to the adult? That one did it for me. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we've got Star Wars versus punny costumes now. This is a good matchup. Here we go. Championship round. 3, 2, 1.
Star Wars. You were going to say punny, weren't you?
I was going to say funny, and I stopped myself.
You paused. You're not sure.
I'm not sure. We got to get. All right, we're gonna do the numbers just to make me feel better about this whole thing. Okay, so Star Wars 1 to 10, 3, 2, 1,
9.
8. Okay, and punny costumes 3, 2, 1, 8. Okay, Star Wars. Congratulations, you friends are moving on.
But don't doubt, somebody shows up with a punny costume.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're gonna earn some extra.
You're gonna
treats.
You're gonna get something good out of the whole thing. Okay, well let's battle this out and see which one reigns supreme.
It may be the best thing today, but is it the best thing of all time? It's time for the best thing battle.
Okay, we've got Star Wars costumes versus chocolate chip cookies. I don't feel like this is much of a fair fight.
I don't either.
3, 2, 1. Chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that wasn't even kind of close.
Monday night, I wish we could have some chocolate chip cookies.
You know what? We can do that.
That would really make the night fun.
That can be done.
Or sure. I guess tonight, I should say.
Yes, tonight. Yeah. Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you're out there. Stay safe.
Yes.
Send us pictures of your costumes, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
Tag us on something.
And then, when the clock strikes midnight tonight, the Christmas season begins.
I thought we were going to go the whole episode.
Here we are.
Without mentioning
We've made it, people. The Christmas season is upon us.
You guys
We're celebrating.
You guys are putting up the tree tomorrow, aren't you?
Hey, let's do that tonight at your house.
You want to drag our Christmas stuff out?
Let's do it.
Just get going. Oh, my gosh. You got anything else?
Oh, no. Just interact with us on social media. Keep spreading the word. I keep hearing from more people that are finding out about the podcast. Thank you for sharing it.
Yes, please
talking
share
it up. And leave us those 5-star reviews.
It helps.
Check out our merchandise that we've got.
Yes, we got brand new stuff out there. Some of our favorite sayings and mannerisms. We've got, we operate on No Knowledge. We've got Bestie for the Resty.
Oh, yes.
I like those a lot. What else Arkansas Karen.
Arkansas Karen shirt. Yes. I cannot wait to get my Arkansas Karen shirt.
We've got Arkansas Karen.
Thank you to whomever that was on TikTok for giving me that.
I kind of want to send them a free one.
They deserve one.
we need to message them and see if they'll take one. All right, for the best things, I'm Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We'll talk at you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Thanks for listening to the Best Things Podcast. If you like today's episode, subscribe, comment, and review wherever you're listening now. Don't forget, connect with us on the socials at Best Things Pod, and you can hear your take on an upcoming episode.